Life always takes some figuring out, you know? Every time you think you've got it together, every time you think you've mastered a thing or done it enough, I mean, it gets easier. It gets easier, or you get better at figuring it out. That's what becomes easier. So here we are again, in front of myself, because that's what matters, right? Facing oneself. What does matter today in this moment? What matters right now? A couple of weeks ago, I started to remember a familiar feeling that I sometimes have, one in which I'm met with a familiar feeling that I am not a good friend. That despite my efforts, that no matter how good I thought I was doing, something reels its nasty head up and tells me, Roger, you suck. You suck at friending. You're not a great friend, or a great person, or a great leader, or a great community builder, or whatever that thing is, right? And silly me, I listen. But my thing is, if one person is saying it, 100 people are thinking it. And so it's valid. It's worth considering. It's worth paying attention to, just to see if, man, is there something I can do better? Can I improve at this? Am I not actually as good as I thought I was? And that's, to me, that's a valid thought. And in this particular instance, more clearly than perhaps ever, I was told, Roger, you suck at this. You, despite your efforts, are no good at being a friend. And true or not, it gives one something to think about. What did I do? How did I end up here? How can I be better? Why don't you love me? And a lot of these things are subjective, right? One's understanding, or what one feels makes a friendship valuable or worthy, can very well be different from person to person, and that is okay. In all honesty, it's impossible to check all the boxes for everyone. What do they say? If you're checking everyone's box, you're probably not being yourself, or you're unhappy, or you are, you're an ass kisser. You're a people pleaser. You're just doing it for the likes. But I oftentimes find myself in a position where, as a community builder, it is important for me to listen to the voices and massage the intersections so that we do have safe spaces, no matter where you're coming from, no matter who you are. And that is, in fact, my job. So when somebody in my personal life tells me I'm not doing well at that, what? What do you mean? My performance review said I was fantastic at creating space. But no, someone I care about told me I suck at it. So that hurts. Not being sarcastic, it does. It's something to think about. And so I spin my wheels, and I ask the questions, and I journal a lot, and I probably draw a picture of a sad face and scribble all over it, because it's confusing, it's conflicting, it makes me not feel great. And these are real thoughts. I'm not being, I can laugh at myself because one, this was some time ago, just, a day, a week, a month, whenever ago. And also because we've moved on, we've moved past it. We have made steps to get better. And I think that's the point of what that's where I was going in that intro, if you will, that I, as we all should be at whatever, at some point in life, should be at a point of wanting to be better at friendship, at community building, at sharing space. I've had a number of really interesting conversations around the topic lately. And I'm glad that these things are coming up because if nothing else, they make me continue to ask questions and continue to try. One thing that I did in recent, or let's say in the last 10 years or more, I became really good at making new friends, at meeting new people, and very quickly breaking down the barriers of unfamiliarity and creating a space that made a stranger feel like a friend. And as I explained to one of my close friends, shout out to Harvey, as I explained to him and Chuck, as I explained to them this past weekend, I feel comfortable extending friendship to almost anyone. Once I realize you're not crazy and, we have some things in common and, there's something of value, whether it's listening or speaking or just being still together. Once I realize you check those boxes, then cool, I'm going to extend friendship to you. Now, even if they don't consider me their friend, or if our friendship doesn't last beyond those moments, I still am going to extend friendship to many people, to almost anyone, because extending friendship should be most people's opportunity. Maybe not right, but opportunity. Now, what does that mean? What does extending friendship mean? That could be the person in the grocery store who you happen to, I don't know, they drop something and you say, you know what, I'm going to bend down and pick it up and hand it to them and smile. And maybe wish them well for the rest of their day. That is extending friendship. Maybe it's the person that I hold the door open for because I see that it's raining outside and they're running just like I was running. And hey, we had a shared experience. And so, hey, let me extend friendship to you and offer this nice gesture. Maybe it's somebody at work who missed a meeting and you're filling them in so that they don't miss a step when it comes time to turn things in. So, hey, come here really quick. Let me tell you what happened. Don't panic. I got you. That's extending friendship. It's gestures that one would give to perhaps their dearest friends or people that they care about considerably. But in this moment, in this opportunity, I'm going to extend friendship to you to allow there to be a commonality, to allow there to be a space where we can feel together. And sometimes that's instantaneous. Sometimes that takes some time. Sometimes it lasts forever. Sometimes it is just a moment. But I've become really comfortable at extending friendship to people. And extending friendship in moments has become creating bonds over time, has become creating storylines and instances with people. And now I've got new friends. Now, this came up in a conversation where I was listening to some of my dearest friends talk about how they have revisited existing friendships, and they were telling stories of time spent with people that we've both known for long amounts of time. But I chose to continue my journey and make new friends and build new bonds for reasons that we'll discuss in some other instance. But these friends who I've stayed connected with, and I'm grateful that we have a bond to where we can, check in or tap in once in however long, and it still feels as though we're just as tight. There's nothing lost, but that's not the case for everyone. And as they were talking about people that they have chosen to continue their timeline with, who I know as well, but for whatever reason, and there's nothing bad behind it, for whatever reason, have chose to extend elsewhere, I thought, damn, I feel inadequate in this situation. I feel like I didn't do something right. I didn't pour into the existing bonds. I went and found new cups to pour into. And in general, there's not anything wrong with that. But when it comes to measuring one's own cup or being asked to continue to pour into all of the cups that you have given a drop or a cup full or a pitcher full to, one realizes, well, damn, I spread myself too thin. Now, this goes back to that other conversation, the other topic that I started with, in which it was brought to me that, hey, Roger, you're not pouring enough. And that's a whole nother thing. I mean, again, a conversation for another day, but I'm grateful to have these experiences and I want to dive into it, but I don't want to get off topic. I want to keep this within a certain amount of time. So that too, for another day, write it down, put it on the list. We'll get back to it. This particular instance was important because I had to stop and think, why is this person upset with me? What is it that I could have possibly done? I showed up the best way I knew how. I did the best I could with the information I had at the time. And I can take accountability. Maybe there were things that I didn't do correctly, but how did we get here? Why are you so upset that I tried? And in strictly taking accountability and not pointing fingers elsewhere, I realized that, Roger, you spread yourself too thin. You've poured into too many cups. And I'm not saying that this particular person or this situation was one that I maybe shouldn't have poured into. I should have, but perhaps because I was also pouring into countless other cups, I didn't have an abundance to pour into this cup in the way that the person wanted me to. Now, that relationship has its own dynamics, its own complexities, its own things that make that opinion valid or not. But the important part is that if this person is saying it, 100 people could be thinking it. And what I don't want to happen is to create a cycle, create a habit of continuously overextending my willingness to extend friendship. And to what degree? No, this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because I just suggested to extend friendship to everyone, which is true, which is valid, which I stand behind. But at the same time, we have to be mindful, or I have to be mindful of how I set that expectation. What do they say? Don't introduce energy that you can't maintain. So what does that mean? Be a dick? Don't say hi, don't open the door, don't smile, don't share a good story. No, maybe it just means letting somebody know up front, hey, I see we have this thing. I see we could keep this going, but I need you to know that I got to check my balance first. I don't know exactly how much I have to spend here with you right now. And that's just fair. That's just setting expectations in a way that allows the other person the opportunity to opt out or to opt in or to understand or to find a middle ground together. Friendship can be like love in that way, that you feel that spark, you get those butterflies in your stomach. You're like, oh, this person's cool. I'm cool too. We are cool in the same ways. Why don't we just continue hanging out, doing the thing, laughing, giggling, playing the game. Why shouldn't we? It feels good. But at a certain point, it might become difficult. There might be a little headbutting. There may be a point where we have to figure out how to do this rather than just doing it. And that is okay, but one must be mindful that that's part of friendship, and that takes some energy as well. So I'm currently in a point of my friendship journey where I am trying to stay in my box, trying not to extend too much further, because I've already my wingspan is massive. And I want to be able to touch the people that I have interacted with because it was purposeful, it was meaningful, and I like them. And I want more of it. I'm selfish. No, I'm not, but I want to continue being friends with the people that I have opened up to. But how do I serve them properly? How do I give them something that is healthy and abundant and not selfish and not something that I can't truly maintain and not something that I muck up or I show up inconsistently or I give just enough to entice each other and then disappear because I overdid it and I can't anymore and I'm drained. I think it's about setting expectations, maybe even over communicating. I think it's also about trying again where I'm at before I decide to move on to new circles. And if you're a person that believes everything happens for a reason and we all are here on purpose, wherever here is, that person that walked in my door because a friend brought them and, oh, you know what? You've got those shoes that I like too. And, oh, we should have an exchange about it. And actually, let me text you this release that's coming out and we can go pick them up together. That's cool and all. But maybe I should communicate, hey, also, that's a pending calendar invite. And if I don't show up, don't be mad at me. I'll let you know that I'm not going to come. I'll communicate in advance. I'm not going to stand you up. But let me tread lightly because just as much as my friendship with the person who introduced us matters, or those that I already know, unrelated, it matters to me that you understand how to deal with me. That yes, I'm busy. Yes, I have children or a family or a job or hobbies or things that don't always fit in this box with you. And so if we're going to continue, let me introduce to you how we can do that. Let me tell you more about me and you tell me more about you, and we figure out what we can exchange on that is fair and is healthy and is created with a good pace so that no one feels as though, oh, you tricked me. Oh, you pulled me in, got what you wanted and got out of there. Because that doesn't feel good. So I've been told. And the way karma goes, I'm sure I'll feel that way at some point because it all comes back around. But it does matter to me to get better at friendship and community building and creating and sharing space. And so I ask myself these questions. How do we do it better? And I challenge you to ask yourself the questions. How can you do it better? How can you create a more fair space? How can you honor the people who are already there and those who are yet to come? How can you communicate? How can you plan? How can you be whimsical in ways that are sustainable for you and are honest to the other person, so that there's never a moment where someone in hindsight points a finger and says you didn't do what you were supposed to, whether communicated or not. People remember how you make them feel. And we sometimes don't hear about that until the point of frustration. So as I challenge myself to do better, I challenge you to do better. In whatever ways it might matter, in whatever ways you might be able to identify, to speak to observe in yourself and in those around you. As we continue to extend friendship, which I encourage you to do, I stand behind that. Extend friendship to everyone. But as we do so, think about, how can I do this sustainably and responsibly? How much does it cost me? How much does it weigh? How much is it worth? And how can I do better? Let's be friends again, y'all. Be friends while it feels good. And be friends when sometimes it's difficult. But being friends might just save the world. I know I'm corny and whatnot, but somebody's got to do it. My name's Roger. I appreciate you for listening. Until the next time. Peace.